Hey guys, it's TRIZE here, back with Automation, the car company Tycoon game, and what you're seeing right in front of me is, well, an unfinished cars. Why am I out here is because this game has gotten a well-deserved update, which is the version 4.2, aka the Turbo Revamp update. And as you can see with the car designer here, especially with the background, the environment, everything, it's like the lighting has big time change up in here. It's like a bit more brighter, a little bit more in like contrast and everything. For this video here, I'm gonna highlight what are the changes with this new version of the game. Well, obviously with the new turbochargers, if you were to create a vehicle as so, like I've just chosen a random Buick GNX type of model, which is this guy right here, is on the right hand portion of your screen here, you now got a wider selection you can choose from, such as like a body name, if it's got a soft top, hard top convertible, the wheelbase, whether if you want like a minimum wheelbase or a max wheelbase to choose what type of vehicle that you want to build, including seat rows, like you got like a one-seater, not I say one-seater, but like a front passenger seat, middle passenger seat, back passenger seat, whatever, with the 1 through 3 right here, including the max seat rows, as you can barely see if I can get everything up, and here we go. We got 1 rows of seats, 2 or 3 or whatever, and to choose between a standard body or a modded body. A modded body that you download off the Steam Workshop, or a standard body that you could choose from that came with the game, which is right here with a standard body. And also, if you were to join the open beta, basically it's an opt-in alpha of 4.2, you cannot choose any modded bodies that you have downloaded off the Steam Workshop. So first things first, this vehicle, let's just put it in a panel material, which will be made out of steel with a ladder chassis, do galvanized steel. And like any other freaking American car like this, we're going to be using a front launch huge edge replacement with the front suspension, let's do solid axle coil, axle coil front and back. I might change this later on in the future. So going into the engine here, let's do new project, new engine. And right off the bat, whoa, okay, we got massive amounts of shine up in here. A white ass like engine tester thingamajig right here. It used to be blue as far as I know it. So choose the engine. Let's do a 9-degree V6 engine made out of cast iron with the bore set. Wow, we're going a lot slower this time. Normally, if you scroll up or down, this like goes way faster than before. This really slowed it down. So let's put a 92.5. Let's make this a 3.8 liter V6 engine. Put the bore up a little bit more and the stroke down to about here. So a 3,756 cubic centimeter engine, or now 64, makes it 3.8 liters, with a pushrod header, also cast iron, and right here at this quality slider, you can now change the quality slider for the family engine to have a positive or negative slider like always in the game, but we'll do that later. So right now, they have now added balance shafts to the game here, which it's considered as crank material. Good job, game. You can either have a balance shaft like a harmonic damper or balance shafts for your engine here. Normally this is good for like inline engines, like an inline 5 or whatever, to have like a balance shaft or whatever, but we'll use it for this V6 engine for the heck of it. So for the crank, cast iron, do cast everything for now, maybe tune this up to like a heavy duty or just regular forged pistons. And another slider they added is the springs and lifters right here, where you want to have like stiff ass springs or softest by 1, 2, 3, 4 type of springs, which I'm not gonna go that far in. So compression, gonna stay, we'll do a 9.8, cam profile, like a 50-ish. And why is the year set to 2012 for an engine? Let's go back. This should have stayed at 1973. Let's get this way back to 73, like the model year of the car. Like, what will happen here? Oh, we still get the balance shafts as so. Good. Well, normally, as you've seen earlier, you had the VVT right here, right, where you don't want to have, like, VVT for the intake or at all cams. And also, you got VVL, or variable valve lift, next to VVT instead of being at the beginning. You would have it, like, right here where the quality slider used to go, but now it's where the top end goes right here with the VVL, including the VVL profile right here, too. So for the turbos, let's bring this up a little bit till we unlock the turbochargers. Okay, 1977, we got turbochargers. Either a single turbo V6 or a twin turbo V6, which, screw it, let's max this out for the heck of it. So we get everything. So we can either get a single turbo, twin turbo type of setup for this engine. If you're to go up to like a I think a V12 or V16, you would have quad turbos on here, including a wastegate, boost control, or smart boost for the type of setup for the turbocharger, including the intercooler that's just pretty much standard issue, including a type of geometry you'd use for a turbocharger, which is only for stage 1 because stage 2 is unfortunately disabled for the beta. And of course, your journal or ball bearing type of turbochargers for this turbo. And for the top sliders you see here is the turbo size or the compressor exducer, which we can crank this up like a little bit to a 60. Then this is the turbine, aka the inducer, let's put it to a 48.2 millimeters. And this here is the AR and compressor trim right here. It's not just the AR ratio like before. And this one is the max boost, aka the boost limit or the maximum boost that can hold for this turbocharger here. And for the fuel system, pretty much standard issue, we can go for a, let's do a multi-point single configuration with whatever type of intake you could choose from compact, standard, low, or standard medium, a variable intake, or a performance mid or high, or a full-blown racing setup. Let's go for a medium. Wow, that's like gray as hell, man. Yeah, a standard medium intake will do with a new type of fuel on here. Instead of like your standard issue like low quality, regular, premium, super, ultimate, you now got ethanol and DevBef. Yes, either ethanol or DevBef for unleaded fuel, and I believe leaded goes up to avgas or aviation fuel. Yeah, so aviation fuel goes up to 105 AKI, and for unleaded for the ethanol 125 AKI, and DevBef 195, which DevBef is basically just for the game. And a fuel mixture, standard issue, 14.6, go from 15 to 10 as so. Ignition timing, standard issue, RPM, also standard issue. And for the exhaust and everything, since it's turbocharged, you're not only going to be restricted to a short cast header, you can go for a cast log or a short cast header. And right here, we got the turbocharger in effect here with the compressor and turbine and a huge ass exhaust. I swear, what if we crank this up to, let me go to free cam, crank this up big time, let's see. I tested this out earlier and oh mama. Oh mama. Boy. Dual exhaust. Oh no. Okay, let's make this relevant. Let's do 2.25 inches for the exhaust, which that equals to 57.1 millimeters. Do a 3-way cata converter, double baffle mufflers, and 403 horsepower. God damn, man. And for the fuel economy, we got to 105 AKI, which is plenty enough for DevBef. So right off the bat, we're making like sports car type of performance up in here. So headers, exhaust just as good, but if I cycle through the graph here from power and torque boost, and this here compressor map, this is brand new to the new game version of 4.2, is to calculate the efficiency of the turbocharger for the compressor, and basically the turbocharger in general. And after I change this up from standard to variable, it blows up. And if I go here to the exclamation point, we got a compressor surge has damaged the turbo. Try using a larger turbine to make the turbo spool later. So going from standard to just, yep, this turbocharger is pretty good, to just nuke right around here where the turbocharger breaks apart, going away from the efficiency part of the graph here, the one that's highlighted in bold. As soon as it gets out from the bold to the more like transparent part, less opacity part, then boom, goes the turbo. So let's increase the inner core just a tad. Let's go back to the power map at friction. And okay, we got more here. So like your standard issue torque and efficiency and power and efficiency, you got friction mean effective pressure for the internals, I believe? I think that's what that is, yeah. Crank, pistons, and valve train, and accessories. This guy, the intake and exhaust temperature, intake and exhaust pressure, and turbo pressure, and back to power and torque. So go back to the map here, and it says to increase the turbine, to make it spool up, just like that. It spooled later. So go back to the power map, 411, still going from, oh wow. So instead of the turbocharger kicking in at like, I don't know, like Formula 1 1980s era, you could actually kick it back to around 3,400 RPMs, right around this range here is where the turbocharger really kicks in and really peaks out. And I would say peak out, but to the point where it really kicks in. And tuning, the boost nukes it, so I'm guessing turbine. So it's really jacked the turbine. Let's go back to the map here till we point right here. So yeah, turbos actually behave like turbos finally, rather than just like, oh, you put a good sized compressor, tiny turbine, and it kicks in around like 4,000 RPM. Now, you actually got more physics with the turbocharger, so it actually makes it a little bit more realistic, but it's still under the works as we speaking right now. Because, of course, it's in the alpha, of course. And what if we try a boost control? Nuke. Smart boost, not nuke. Alright, just tune the turbocharger to a little bit better setting here. So, this could be final. 404 horsepower at 5,600 RPM. The torque at 431.6 pounds-feet of torque at 4,300 RPM. Not impressive, but pretty much standard issue for a 70s or 80s car with turbochargers where they kick in like really late. Unlike nowadays where they just kick in at virtually any time. So right now, let's get to hear what this engine sounds like right now. Did the engine just bog down? So the engine does move. Oh, you kind of seen here how the engine just swayed a little bit once I accelerated the engine, so that's pretty cool. So choosing a body, standard issue, and the paint here, you can actually customize the glass on here. From the old glass semi-transparent, you can actually make things red. We're not gonna do that right now. Steering angle, let's see. Damn, rear steering angle. I can make a forward steering vehicle like that? Okay, thank you, game. You can change the suspension color. Hold on, let's see here. Suspension. Okay. Is there a suspension type of paint job? No, it doesn't. Chrome. Yeah, chrome ass suspension, boys. And for the customization, unfortunately, we don't have any mods to do this. We're going to do just pretty much how it used to be back in the day with the customization. A 1975 type of headlight goes on. Wow, that is shiny right here. That'll do right there for the headlights. And I'll do the rest with the customization like the grille, bumper, sides, and that place. So I'm not going to do an interior because, well, interior, they don't have it no more. Export camera positioners? Oh, you can put cameras now. Okay, you can actually cameras for BeamNG. So unfortunately, we're not going to have an interior. Shut the windows off, make them transparent, or no, it's transparent, opaque. Editable text. If it says editable, oh wait, fix your text right here. Yeah. Not only that, it's like the strong neon green glow is kind of like, yeah, right here it's all like crusty looking, but if you zoom in, you actually get the maximum clarity, just zoomed in like right up against the part right here, the fixture, which is this here character letter A. And also quick highlight while I'm still building this car, you actually got a running light feature now, which will be this side of the vehicle here, of the taillights here. So of course got your indicators, reverse lights, and the running light, which I kind of find it to be interesting now. And these two, of course, will be the brake lights, which I'll apply here for this guy and this guy. Say normally an average automation car build takes me like several hours, if not like a day or so to make, especially if this would have had like all the mods and everything from like your mod, like modular headlights, modded body parts, moldings, headlights, brake lights, everything, where they take a long time for me to make those. Because sometimes I'm like either inconsistent with the builds, like I build for a while, then stop, like look at the design, like I'm looking here, like what next? Like I looked at like for quite a while and then think about my next move, making like my next move to add like another part, fixture, or whatever design, like whatever to just make it look better. Kind of like your stereotypical artist that really overlooks their drawings to the point they have to make it like Leonardo da Vinci type of perfectness up in here, Picasso, Van Gogh, whatever. It's like I try to strive for that type of creativity and that quality on my builds. But since we're back to square one with non-modded body parts and fixtures, well, I could live without them for right now. Because, well, back in the day when the game was released, back in the Key engine, you had like some modded body parts, but there aren't like a whole lot of them because, well, that was back then before they moved this game to the Unreal Engine portion. For the Key engine to the Unreal Engine, a big move for these guys, and the right one too. Alright, just finalized the car here. So the car name is going to be the Locust TX by Automation. Unfortunately, we don't have a manufacturer's name, so I could just deal with it. Just Locust for the model name, and then the trim name, TX for Turbocharged Extreme. Being over 400 horsepower for a 70 sedan like this. And also, when you go to the paint scheme here and just go to advanced paint mode, you can either do the hue saturation value or red, green, and blue, the RGB values here. And you can also type in the hex value too, if you can copy or paste it to get the exact type of color for the RGB values or HSV. So if I go here and just do like color picker, let's just do yellow. So we got the hex value of A88832, I believe. I think I said that right. So go here, copy and paste. So copy here, and then Control V to paste. There we go. See, we got the yellow paint effect here, but despite the good amount of flakiness of the paint here, so reduce that. Now we got the yellow paint, as you see, pretty much right here. So from what we got in Google to we got in automation, a lot better than before. And I also found out the interior settings for like the trunk and even the mods here for like the seats and everything. This is all in the 3D fixtures menu. Well, preferably the interior 3D menu for like the seats, steering wheels, the armrest, the window controllers, that Nissan whatever that was in the workshop, the 80s interior, including the full dashboards, and this. It's like they pay these modders off or something. Damn, guys. So, for the vehicle itself, of course, we're going to be using a rear drive transmission, or drive type of a manual transmission of a 5-speed with the top speed set, wow, 177 miles an hour. Let's do 180 with the top speed limited, it is probably in kilometers, to 140. And with the tire setting, so let's do a whoops radial. So we got new tire settings, excluding the chunky off-road, hard long life, and these at the bottom. You got all-terrain and utility tire types on here, which I believe they got their own textures, right? So chunky off-road, wow, a lot better than the 4. So let me max these guys out. Let's do 245s, 245. So max these boys out. So chunky off-roaders are chunky off-roaders, as they supposed to be. All-terrain, okay, nice tire design. Utility, not too bad. Hard long life. Medium compound, not too bad. Made by our boy Tyrelli. And sport compounds, here's the sport, made by our boys Dunlap. And semi-slicks, lastly, not a whole lot of tread, made by Fujisaki. So, do medium compounds. And this is all what you've been waiting for. With the front and rear tires, you could change the rim size and tire size independently. Like, look at this. I could just make this big, you could just play like a lowrider. Not to say a lowrider, but increase the tire diameter to the front, keep that at the back as is, and just scrape the back end like you all cool and everything, like it's 1993. And it's nothing but a G thing or something. So we'll do that some other time. So let's do some, let's increase to 625, 15 inches are good. For the brakes, front force. Okay, so solid disc 2-piston with its size set to 250 millimeters and front force. What does this do? I'm guessing like how much like brake pressure it'll be applied to the front of the brakes, including the rear too. I think that's what that does. Let me find that out. For aerodynamics, semi-clad on our tray, up the brake airflow just a tad to a 15. And the interior of this vehicle, let's do standard, a standard, and either an 8-track, which you get out got entertainment options right here. Either the, whoa, you can go from the none setting, the AM radio setting, the phonograph setting, or the 8-track setting. Power steering, traction aids are the same, and advanced 1970s safety stand. Oh, it was set to the 70s. That's why. So standard 1960 safety standards, and the optimized weight, whether to be heavier for what? Like heavier overall or lighter overall or something like that. But for the weight distribution, you can either shift this to more be biased towards the front or the rear of the vehicle. So we'll do that later. Suspension, standard as is. Do gas mount 2 dampers with oversteer. Do sport preset because we got turbocharger built in. So right off the bat, we're oversteering. What can we do? We got severe wheel spin doing all that. So is this kilometers? What if I just say, yeah, it is kilometers. Oh, so let me lower this down to 142.9 miles per hour. So this is stuck in kilometers. I thought like this would be miles per hour, so I was wrong. So buttload of wheel spin, 0 to 62 in 5.8 seconds. Not too bad. The front brake force is low. No problem. Still a problem. Max brake force. Good. I think this is like the replacement of the front and rear brake bias, if I'm right or wrong. What if I lower this? It lowered drivability, but okay. I think this will be a bad idea. I'll probably learn this later on the new updated game here. Alright, so we got the vehicle finalized right here. So we got ourselves a 3,517-pound vehicle with 54% front bias, 46% in the rear for the weight distribution, and 404 horsepower and everything else in general. So how does it do on the automation and airfield test tracks, aka the quote-unquote Top Gear test track? So 143 miles an hour, 0 to 60 in 5.47 seconds. Not too bad. What is even the fuel efficiency? 12.7. Okay for a 400 horsepower vehicle in the 70s. But let's see. We're just gonna get hit play and then just stop. Let's see. Automation, 2 minutes, 23 seconds, 25 milliseconds. For the quote-unquote Top Gear test track, probably like a 129, 126.38. That's pretty good for a vehicle like this. Just slap out a wing on it and call it a race car. So real quick, let's see how it drives briefly at BeamNG.drive. But before we do that, we got the export agreement. What happened here? Guys, I hit export car and I'm sitting here for the past like 90 seconds and nothing's going on here. Okay, oh, here we go. The background loaded. One more try. There we go. Exporting engine sounds, bodies, finalizing export. That should go. So that's just a bug going from the export menu to the point where the background just crapped itself out for some odd reason. Let's see. Finalizing export. We got it. So here we are at the automation test track with the locust and big, bright, bold lettering right here. I should probably make this a little bit smaller, but who cares about that? So we got the vehicle here. We got the brake lights going. Oops, hold on. I freaking turned off the transparency for the windows, but we still got them. I was about to say, these are poking through the body of the vehicle with the turn indicators. That is weird. How about the headlights? Glad I got up in here, like always. So anyways, shut these off, get ready to start off this here time trial. So we're doing 2 laps around the automation test track. So get ready here in 3, 2, 1, go. Let's see. Major wheel spin. And a 0 to 60. Okay, I'm feeling the front brakes already. 0 to 62 at 5.84 seconds of 279.09 feet. And the standard issue, BeamNG, upshift, downshift because of the extreme turbo lag. Just like that, look at this. It almost did it again, and wheel spin in 3rd gear. Normally, you shouldn't do that for any type of vehicle. Yeah, I'm already locking up with the front brakes up in here, so 150, let's see. I was barely on the brakes, and I was locking it up like it's nothing. And why is the back bumper like swaying up in here? Let's see. Brake here. You gotta pump out the brakes to not skid them out. And I might as well turn off the frickin'... Yeah, let's shift by myself. I'm not gonna let the game shift for me, like over and over. Just downshift, upshift, downshift, like that. So the speed limiter does in fact work. 142 miles an hour. That is plenty enough. So we hit the top speed, but not the true top speed of the vehicle. At around 172 miles an hour. I was thinking 107.2. That's stupid. So brake. Engine brake. Okay, did good. Brake again. See, like 20-30% on the brakes, and we were skidding the damn tires. That is unacceptable. I think it's sudden brake applications where you suddenly hit the brakes, like suddenly and gradually hit the brakes. That's probably when you get the tires to start skidding, hitting the brakes so hard with non-ABS vehicle. And we're going into sand trap because we skid the tires. Deja vu had been in this place before at the sand pit. And back tarmac. Yeah, this is a hella dangerous vehicle to drive. So again, brake here. Not bad. Micro skidding, but... And skidding right there again. It's like inconsistent with the brakes here. Like you can get some skidding or not a whole lot of skidding or no skidding hitting the brakes at an ample amount of pressure. So go to that corner. In the first lap time, I'll get you there in a second. Lap number 1 is going to be a 2 minutes, 40 seconds, 654 milliseconds. It seems okay. How about the rest? And briefly, what is the interior like? So we got the hood view, and that's pretty much it. So that camera, like... Oh no. That was scary. So that camera positioner tool on the fixtures menu, like, you could use that, like, either 2D or 3D mode to change, really downshift, to change the position of the cameras in BeamNG.drive. Like, instead of having that hood view like you just saw earlier, like you want the driver's view to be where the driver's seat is at, you could do that rather than going into relative view and position it manually. Like, to do that, you hit the 4 button, which is relative view on my keyboard, and then just use the WASD keys or the arrow keys to just zoom in there, zoom into the driver's seat, and just go from there. Corner's pretty good. I give it that. So brakes are fading. Oh, I can see 900 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty bad. I mean, these are vented disc brakes, good amount of size. They shouldn't really fade that quickly, but I digress. I don't know if the main factor is the high brake force that I applied to this vehicle is really stressing out the front brakes, thus fading them. Brake. Oh no. We're gonna crash. Okay, so that's what a 4.2 automation vehicle looks like crashing at BeamNG.drive. You've seen it here, folks. We got the back bumper completely removed. Yeah, these brakes are cooked. 900 degrees Fahrenheit. It was up at 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So our final lap time, much better in a 2 minutes, 34 seconds, 178 milliseconds. It's gonna crash going. So total time of 5 minutes, 14 seconds, 832 milliseconds. High DUI, everything as is, into the tires. Oof. At a dead stop we go. So free roam puts us in 3rd place. 1st place is the Transit Supervan, a wannabe Transit Connect van turned super van, like the Supervan like 1, 2, and 3. 2nd place, my Christmas vehicle about a year ago, the GMC Santa Sleigh, a cargo van designed to steal packages or cargo. I mean, that type of cargo. And wrapping up 3rd place is me with the Locust TX. So let's hit free roam and take a look at the FBAF destruction of vehicle and go back to automation and see what we got else in store. So, radiator leaking, tires are gone. Like, who would have known by now? So the back of the vehicle, not that bad. If we would had a back bumper, probably a downward state intact. So the right of the vehicle, completely mangled up. Front end, definitely. The left side, or the front became the left side of the vehicle along with the rest of the left side of the vehicle. And of course the rear, like that. So now, let's go back into automation to see the new AI car generator and then attempt to beat my old V16 record that had the most horsepower. So I'm back in automation, and right here, you can finally generate a car with the AI feature. And what would it be like if the AI generates its own car? For demographic, okay. Do a pony car from the year of 1986. The region, Gasbia, of course, and generate an AI car, and AI generation progress, because waits, your engineers are hard at work at designing the cars and engines to the best of their abilities. Cool. I'm not going to design it, I'm just going to pony trim. What do we have in show for us, game? And there's a warning right there. What did it do? Oversteer, engines narrow, brakes suffer from brake fade, and minor wheel spin. 185.6 horsepower from an inline 6 engine. So we got a Toyota Corolla type of... Okay. It's like a goddamn Toyota Corolla 11 model or something, man. I'm not gonna design this or whatsoever. I'm gonna keep it as is. So what did it do here? We got ourselves a steel panel material with a monocoque chassis made out of galvanized steel with a front launch neutral engine placement with a double wishbone front suspension and a rear suspension, a solid axle leaf. Not that great. And for the engine, i6, both cast iron, push rod, and boy, what is this for? Front wheel drive. So this is close of actually maxing out in the engine bay of the vehicle. So we got ourselves an overstroker, and 90 millimeters, 108 on the stroke. And holy dip in the bloop. And then back up with the torque. -2 quality, that explains why everything cast harmonic damper. You pretty much need that for an i6. 7.6 of the compression? I'm not really a fan of that. A single point EFI? Are you kidding me, man? Low intake? Not the best, but it'll do for now. Everything else, rear drive, automatic 4-speed. Well, welcome to the 2010s or 20s, my friends, where everything's automatic and manuals are dead. This car pretty much predicted the future right here, folks. Medium compounds, 195 fronts, 205 backs. Vented disc 1 piston, 295? What? And a 160 in the back? Damn, son! No under tray, standard interior, standard cassette player, 5-seater, ABS brakes, hydraulic power steering, 1980 standard safety standards, and typical suspension. That's pretty bad. And lastly, what's it gonna be like in the most powerful V16 engine like I've done in the past? Well, it's not final, but we got 5,200 horsepower going on right here. What if he switches up to an overhead cam and, okay, we got a dip there. A little bit better at... Oh, what the hell is going on here? We got some, like, of course, it's run-of-the-mill turbo lag. That kicks in real strong, then down. What the hell happened here? Is a turbocharger about to give up? Pretty close. It's almost giving up on here. The compressor map. How about a dual overhead cam? Oh man. Oh my god. 5840 and 5848. What if we... Oh mama. Oh my god. We hit 7,000 right there. Can we get... Yes, please. 7,272.2 horsepower and 7,600 RPM. Hire to be Devil, the car company that's making the Devil 16 and makes like, whatever, 5,000 horsepower for a V16 quad turbo. This is so stupid. I've been tuning this thing for like a VVL. Worse. Look, one tick of the compression, a 10.5 and a 10.4, a drastic drop in power. A 900 horsepower difference between the two. Like, what if I export this as is? Will this work or no in BeamNG? It could work, it could not work, but we can always try. If it is, then this could be the most powerful V16 of all time, but this could probably be changed unless the turbocharger settings, like the turbocharger physics, like level out. Like, this is ridiculous. Oh boy. Oh my god. Yeah. Let's briefly test this out. Shut this down, test the engine out. The engine had a damn seizure. I don't think it's gonna fit on any car for now, but once this stables out, I'll continue the series of the most powerful engine series with the new turbo update, so stay tuned for that in the near future. So that'll do it with automation at BeamNG.drive with version 4.2. This was a long-awaited feature that we were on the lookout for. From the turbo update, which has really expanded our creativity and the realism of what turbochargers should behave in pretty much any engine, but that's as of right now, except for the V16 like you saw earlier, making 7,000 horsepower, which is downright impossible. I am happy with the turbo update as of right now, but it'll get better later on as they patch the bugs and make things even more realistic later down the line. And for those who are interested in this type of content, please be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any videos like this in the future, and also check out my social media down in the description below. So this is TRIZE rising up and signing out.